Vinney Smile Chopra, a man who took $7 to a portfolio of over $250 million in apartment investing. He mentors and coaches to make apartment syndication easy. Each week, he will share his expertise, tricks, trades, and golden nuggets how to master the art of syndication to bring cash flow streams to your business, to change your life for the better. Here is Mr. Smiles.
Syndication Made Easy with Vinney Chopra, also known as Mr. Smiles. Mr. Smiles is one of the top syndication investors in the U.S. today. He came to this country with only like $7 in his pocket. And now not only is he being able to acquire and manage over $250 million, he's also one of the top syndication experts to get qualified information from. Each week, Mr. Smiles will be sharing golden nuggets that his mastermind students usually pay thousands of dollars to learn from. So without further ado, let's get down to business with Vinney Chopra, Mr. Smiles. Hi, Mr. Smiles. How are you doing?
Hi, Alicia. How are you? I'm very excited to get this whole ball rolling. I know we spent months and months to get the podcast started, and this is the first one. I'm very excited, very motivated, and just ready to rock on.
Me too. So I want to get down to business and let's talk about, investment philosophy.
Sure.
You're one of the top syndication experts, in the U.S. So what is your investment philosophy?
I would say, Alicia, that the biggest thing, the light bulb came on. We were investing in single family homes for over 35 years. And we were having homes in different states, and different property management companies were managing them. We were paying 7 to 10%, of the rental income to them. And then, of course, they were also using their own contractors to really fix the boiler or fix the, dishwasher and, anything that went wrong with the kitchen or bathrooms and painting and all that. And that takes away a lot of profits when you're dealing with such a small margin of cash flow in the single family homes. I've been a broker since 2004 in California. I live near San Francisco in the beautiful place called Danville. And the key thing was in about 2005 or so, I was stumbled. I just came across, somebody said, Vinney, have you looked into commercial? I said, what? Let me look into that. So I was in the residential field, as a lot of my audience might be. They're debating whether they want to, as their investors, if they have a lot of family homes or 2 or 3 or 4, and they want to scale up, or some people who want to really learn the syndication business. That's the word, the syndication. That is what I'm all about. And it has changed our lifestyle, our whole family, my whole demeanor, everything, how to really get other people interested, where you are learning the art of syndication. Syndication is the art of pooling money together from your family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, everybody. And I don't know if a lot of the people know that about 26 trillion with a T, trillion dollars are in the retirement funds in USA. I mean, think about across the world, there will be many, many trillion dollars. The key thing is that money is stuck in the precious metals or stock market or mutual funds or under the pillow, a lot of money, all that. And a lot of people don't know how to get really into the real estate market. And they don't have time. I mean, there are doctors, attorneys, CPAs, you name it, surgeons, pharmacists. They're my students and investors who have really given me their money for the last 12 years and made spectacular returns. Our average returns are 18 to 26%. The highest I've given is 68% per year, by the way, and 43.3%, 29. Those people who have followed me, they know these are real numbers. I walk the talk. Many of my investors tell me, many of my students tell me, Vinney, you are just not sitting in a cocoon and taking examples from everywhere. You're doing your own, syndication examples that you teach and people learn from.
No, I love it. So talk to me a little bit about why do you think, because I know you use syndication and you came from the single family home industry. Why do you think that your philosophy with single family homes and using other people's money, why do you think that works? And why did you decide to go in this direction? I mean, besides the multiple streams of income.
Oh, good point. No,
you know
very good point.
So, and obviously also people, when you're doing a single family home, if you lose that renter or whatever, you're kind of screwed until you bring somebody else in or something happens. This way you've got more people to choose from and you're not losing everything all at once. So I get that part. But talk to me a little bit more about your philosophy and why do you think it works and why do you think it's better than other people or other educators in the syndication world?
Sure. See, the thing is, the only thing we have to really keep in mind is that in the single family, again, if there is a high rent, and then your mortgage is lower, there is that margin per month. We call it cash flow. But then you have to pay 7 to 10% to the management company unless the owner is able to take care of the tenants' problems, the trash problems, and the toilet problems. We call it 3 T's in our business: toilet, trash, and tenants, and other problems. The key thing is insurance has to come out, the mortgage has to come out, and not only that, all the expenses of the repairs and deferred maintenance, we call it, and so forth, or maintaining the lawn, maintaining the front and the back, of the property, all that. Plus, also, we have to take care of the management fee, which is a big one. In a single family home, management fee could be 6% of the total rental, gross rents, or 8% or 10% also, depending on the market. So the thing is, also the investors are buying in their backyard. Like in California, it's very hard to buy and have it cash flow. So a lot of people are buying these properties away. So they have to travel and hotel expense and all that. And then they cannot get to the properties that quickly. So those are some of the inherent, problems. A lot of people who are also in my academy, Alicia, are the flippers, the wholesalers, the contractors, the appraisers, also the brokers, real estate brokers, residential brokers who want to make it really big in the commercial side. So let me kind of share what really happens with the flipping side. If you're not getting these 20 homes all over USA, but you are getting them 20 units, we call it, 20 families are going to live under 2 roofs. What do I mean by that? 10 in one building and 10 in another building. Or if we do even 4 plexes, then, we have to do all that. But the big thing is now we have only 2 roofs to take care instead of the 10 roofs, which were scattered all over. We have to take care of only 1 transaction to buy the 20 units, 1 transaction, as we have to qualify for loans for 20 different ones. We could actually hire a part-time manager, property manager, we call it, or community manager. We really like to say Monil communities. We never say Monil apartment complex or anything because we manage all our assets that we've been doing for last 10 years under my 2 acquisition companies and 2 management companies, So kind of going back to what you asked, the philosophy is to pool the money together. See, the thing is, we had some money, but we didn't have millions of dollars, and nobody does. When you're starting out, you have few hundred thousands of dollars that you need to have liquidity and down payment and so forth, and earnest money expenses, in the multifamily a little bit higher than the single family. So that's where the world of syndication, as an engineer, I'm a mechanical engineer with an MBA degree in marketing and sales. When I came to USA with $7, like you said, it just dawned on me that I'm not cut out to be an engineer sitting behind the desk, and I just said, let me try out this new world of sales and marketing. And that's what I've been doing. And I sold books and encyclopedias, Bible books outside Atlanta, Pulaski, Virginia, and Aiken, South Carolina. And that cut my teeth in sales and marketing. And I just loved it. I said, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stay in it, So motivation has been my passion, just to be motivated daily, to work hard, to get things done. That's who I am. So by pooling the money, kind of coming back to your question, why I'm so excited about syndication, why my philosophy has changed a lot. And now my goal is to teach millions of people around the world about syndication. Those who are not in syndication, if you're listening to me, please listen more every week, because you will get really grown to become a great syndicator. And that's not hard. A lot of people say, and they're charging $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to teach this art of syndication. My goal is to teach everything in just $2,500, to be truthful, or $5,000 if they want to be masterminding with me also, and coming on Wednesday with my 2-hour sessions every week that is recorded and so forth. Or they could then do personal coaching, which is more expensive, which other coaches are charging, about $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and like that. Again, they are doing their great work. I don't want to undermine any other coaches. There are lots of great people in this country.
No, I love it. So I want to get back to your philosophy, but and I'm really excited. I think that the information that you're giving, and you're giving this away for free. I mean,
yes.
So it's pretty cool. But back to your philosophy. So your philosophy is more of pulling money together than managing your own properties, and you teach people how to do this. Why do you think that philosophy works?
Okay.
Rather than me trying to pull out a loan by myself, you know what I mean, for the entire property or whatever the options are.
Totally. See, what happens is that in single family home, Alicia, it's very easy to just qualify for loan for the single family. You're working with only one resident. We don't say tenant, we say resident in our communities. So the key thing is that, you are not really to a scale where you need that much help from other people. Mm-hmm. You have a little bit money, you put a down payment, you qualify for the loan, and then you're done, and you keep that, a single family home. Then you have to manage it yourself or give it out to property managers like we did. My wife and I, we've been doing it for over 30 years. But the big thing is, when you enter the world of syndication, now you could even be owning a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex. It's still counted as residential, by the way, which is not bad. If you have a fourplex and a resident leaves, I should say tenant, 3 are left to pay the mortgage and to pay the expenses and things like that. So I really talk to all my students as they're starting out to get into a fourplex, a triplex. My real goal in life right now at this tender age, I'm very young, is to teach the high school students, even junior high students, how to really become an entrepreneur, how to really start a company at the age of 14. That's my passion in life right now. And to teach the 17 and the 18 and the 19-year-old students and boys and girls where they can start their own business, not to watch TV and get into gangs and all these bad influence of negativism, but be really positive so that they can change their life for the better, so that they can really make so great strides while they're going through their junior high school and high school. By the time they're 20 or 21, I would love, my ultimate goal is that they should be owning a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex with the help of their parents and themselves, saving money so that they can be living for free when they leave their home and they are on independent. They should be living free of paying any rent and so forth. And that's where the world I want to, get into. I also have a really cool website, Google of Happiness and Google of Fitness, because those are my other two passions. There is so much negative around the world. Why not to be the biggest force in positivity around the world, around the cosmos, around, I just believe in energy. I believe that we could change the state of our thinking, our mind. And that's why, thank you again for helping me with my motivation talk show. I could put a little plug in here. My audience who's listening to me, please subscribe to Vinney Chopra, Mr. Smiles, motivation talk show, weekly podcast also, where I'll be sharing some exciting, nuggets on my motivation philosophies and thinking, which can possibly take them to a new height in their life, and also the business.
Yes, no, and I'm actually really privileged because I get to work with Mr. Smiles in both of these projects. I get to help him motivate you and teach you how to make money at the same time. So my job's quite easy. I like it. So, all right, Mr. Smiles, let's get back to business. Let's talk about investors. Why do you think it's important, or is it important that investors understand how you tick and what you think about when you're making an investment?
Oh my gosh, that is so important, Alicia, what you just asked. Because see, investors, there are like 3.4 million, I think, or 340 million or 360 maybe in USA, and then around the world, 6 billion. Of course, how many of them are over the age of 18? Because, 16 or 18 in different countries who can really make their own decisions and invest and so forth like that. So investors need to be taught how to find the right investments. See, lots and lots of money is spent by Fidelity, by Vanguard, by T. Rowe Price, with, Robinhood, which is a great website, by the way, for young people to really open an account with Robinhood. I don't get paid from anybody. I just want to clarify that. But I like to really share my experiences. I have an account with Fidelities and T. Rowe Price and all these, and Charles Schwab's and all. They're great people, and they teach a lot about how to invest in in mutual funds and how to buy stocks and options and all that. But nobody teaches how to invest in real estate. See, and that's where the investors can do a great job by converting their retirement funds, 401k, Roth IRA, regular IRA, solo 401k, kiosk plans, and all that into self-directed. That's the word, self-directed IRAs, self-directed Roth, self-directed 401ks. Now, what that happens is, just like the word says, self-directed, then they can invest themselves. They can make their own decisions to put that money into real estate. Now, they could buy themselves, and then they have to do the active role, it's called. But if they want to do passive role, where a lot of my investors, by the way, they are very, very accomplished people in their own field. Doctors, attorneys, retired people, businessmen, all of them. But then they have been so engrossed in making money that they don't have the time. That's what I find. I think they're very, very intelligent, but they don't have the time to learn the skills and then be able to start the company like I did. In just 4 years, we have 67 full-time team members. 67. And in my two companies, we have over 120 people. 120 full-time team members, because we manage our real estate also. All the commercial apartments, buildings, we manage ourselves through one company, and we acquire in syndication, legal process, SEC ruling, abiding by their rules in the other two companies. So that's how we have done. So to teach the investors how to look at the track record, how to look at the PPM, the private placement memorandum, the operating agreement, the subscription agreement, the disclosures, the formation documents of the LLC that's going to be purchasing the asset. I mean, you should never, ever, ever wire the money into a syndicator's personal bank account. Never, ever do that. Make sure that you are fully vetted the syndicator or the investor who's asking you to invest money, because you need to check them out totally. Talk to the people that they have dealt with, their investors, and what's their track record, and how did they take care of the downturn and the upturn, what's their philosophy of finding the right emerging markets. That's something I'll talk a lot in the weeks to come with you about emerging market. That is the number one thing. You got to find these pockets of markets all around the USA that have jobs and jobs and jobs coming. Because what if we buy a property and then the jobs go down? When the jobs go down or businesses leave, the employment rate is going to be less, vacancy and all that. But
I know we actually have an interview set up later on this week, or next week, I'm sorry, about the same subject. So you guys need to tune in to get this information about the coming markets.
For sure. We're going to be touching everything that I know in the last 12 years. And then I'm so fired up that, we're going to be recording everything and then archiving and everything, and putting a lot of things on the YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, my Syndication Academy, Facebook, all those places, Alicia.
No, definitely. But let's go back into, let's talk about the investors and their mindset. So it's extremely important for the investor to really understand how you tick, how you work, and do the research on you as the investor.
Yes.
So once we get past that, have you ever had, let's just say you've got a couple of different investors, which I know you have investors in your pocket right now. Have you ever had lashback about a decision you've made on a property? And if you did, how do you deal with that with an investor?
Very good point. I'm going through that right now.
There you go. And I didn't even know that. That wasn't planned.
Yeah. Alicia, the thing is, you got to live your life to the fullest. And I can take care of a lot of instances that have happened in my new company, Monil Investment Group. By the way, any of the audience would like to check me out, please go to monilinvest.com. That's MONEIL. That's our kid's name, Monica and Neil combined together. That's our brand. And that's where we have monilinvest.com. And then my personal website, VinneyChopra.com, which is V as in Victor, INNEY. There is two N's and then an E, Y, Chopra, CHOPRA, Chopra.com. And that's where you can check me out. The key thing is that, all these things happen in life. I bought a property near NASA, in Houston area, just recently, like 4 years back, let's say. And it had gone through $3.6 million renovations already, 150 units. Already the brand new landings, staircases, interior were all like Class A. It was 1973 built, Class C. But then the seller who sold it to me had put in over 3.6 million or 3.4 to 6 million. And all the interiors were great and all that with Class A, moldings and new flooring, new inside, new cabinets, new this, new that, all steel appliances, granite tops, you name it. But then they said, Vinney, we have 25 units out of the 23 units, out of the 150, which are classic, which are the old ones. And some of these residents didn't want us to go there and they don't want to move and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Guess what? Now I hired the company, due diligence company, we call it. Okay. These are the professional people. They do due diligence. They go into the property. They look at the roofs, the foundation, the sewer systems, and the lighting systems, and the water, the pipes and all that, along with the interiors of these units also. But somehow, they missed few units and they had mold in it. That's ridiculous. And that's what, sometimes you have to take it on the chin. And as soon as I found out, we were able to take corrective actions right away. So then, you have to let the investors know this is what the due diligence company we hired missed. You have to have proper communication. And I'm so happy to let everybody know I bought it for $9.3 million, sold it in February of this year. This year it's already sold. We took care of all that. Then Harvey hit also. 28 units got flooded. We had a creek in the thing and all that. And we took care of that, water mitigation and everything. Because when you're managing your assets, you can make decisions just like this and put the things into play. So asking your question, how we talk to investors, and I do quarterly meetings with them. We record them, their live meetings. They ask me any questions they want, and I answer them live. And then not too many investors know who are other investors because SEC ruling does not allow that. But the key thing is they know the real deal. And that's what has really built my companies to a great height, because we are totally transparent. Our investors can fly to the properties without telling us. They could call the managers. They could get any kind of information. They could send people to take pictures. I travel from San Francisco to my properties in Texas, in Georgia, in Florida, all over. So I take also a lot of pictures and bring them back, put them in the slides and show it to my investors. And we record. I've been recording all these 11 years, every single recording, for the investor meetings quarterly. And then they are sent link. Those investors who could not see me or meet me at that particular time in the evening, we do it in the evenings because they are back from home, from work and all that. So the biggest thing I could say to all the audiences, transparency is the key. You got to make sure communication, very high level of communication with your investors, and transparency will get you to where you want to become, because they'll tell more people and more people and more people, about you. And that's the name of the game. In syndication, we are governed by SEC rulings, Securities and Exchange Commission ruling. We need to be totally transparent and give them all the financials, the rent roll, the balance sheets, the CapEx reports, anything they want. It's at their fingertip.
I know, and we're actually going to go into detail on all these different subjects, throughout the podcast that we're launching here. So you'll get all the answers you need from him. But Mr. Smiles, let me just ask you this. So your philosophy when it comes to apartment syndication is using other people's money. Yes. And pulling them into a fund, or not a fund, but pulling them into a pile so that way you can use that money to invest in properties. And then when you're dealing with investors, your philosophy is more transparency, so that way your investors understand exactly where their money is going and what they should expect, and being reasonable about it. So I guess my last question today would be, if you had one piece of advice, I always ask Mr. Smiles for his advice because he's smart, he's witty, he's quick, he's got more energy than my 4-year-old does. So,
I have no notes. I can tell you, I have no notes here. You just ask me questions. I don't even see the questions, beforehand.
No, it's right off the cuff for sure. I do a little research on my side because I don't know the business as well, but I just come at him with questions and have him answer it. So, but I guess my last piece of advice is if somebody is coming up with their philosophy and how they work, what would be your advice to them if they're getting into the apartment syndication world? What would be your advice to somebody, about their investment philosophy? What's important to keep in mind?
Thank you, Alicia, for today. Great. I hope the audience is getting great nuggets, and hopefully they will chime in and subscribe to the channel and listen to it every week. You're right. I would say the golden nugget from today, since we're talking about philosophy, is that I hope I do a mind shift. And anybody who's listening to me, please look into the world of syndication. If you've been investing solely, you have millions of dollars, that's great. But if you want to scale up faster, you want to change your life next year, within 6 months, within 2 years, and give up that W-2 job or keep that also along with streams of income, it can be done. Syndication is not a 2,000-pound gorilla or anything like that. And that's why I wrote the book also, Syndication, Apartment Syndication Made Easy, my journey from $7 to over $200 million and quarter billion. And we just got $52 million asset under contract in Orlando. We are doing underwriting for another $42 million. I never really pictured that happening. I was looking in my world of 100,000, apartment house, or $150,000 house, or $200,000 rental house. But in millions, you could really cross that bridge very quickly if you learn the art of syndication.
Okay. No, I love it. Mr. Smiles always has good information. All right, guys, you just got your weekly syndication golden nuggets from Mr. Smiles, also known as Vinney Chopra. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and tune in each week to get your syndication investing and managing business to the next level. Have a terrific week, and Vinney always says, and make it happen each day. Be sure to reach out to Mr. Miles or in the syndication talk show through VinneyChopra.com. And always reach out to him. He's also live on Facebook too. Each Friday, is it Friday morning at 10 o'clock, correct?
At 10 o'clock Pacific. 10 o'clock Pacific. Please come and join me. And also, please send out 2 or 3 questions that you are really toying around. Please go ahead and send it to info@VinneyChopra.com. So come to my website. Get my free ebooks, lots of information, my blogs I'm writing every week, and lots of archived things are there, and my 78 or more podcasts that I've done. And now I have 2 of my own. So I hope you get a lot of information, and let's make it a better world of syndication.
I love it. No, I love it. And you know what, guys? If you do have questions about syndication, please do reach out to Vinney on his email through his website at VinneyChopra.com. And that information will be also here in the links below in the show notes. So, but just so you guys know, please reach out, ask the questions, and I'll make sure I get the information for you
Totally.
in one of our next coming up podcasts. So you guys can learn through his top-notch academy by applying for mentorship. You can partner with him, or you can invest with him. So be sure to tune in each week to get your golden nuggets on the syndication investment business.
Be sure to listen to Mr. Smiles next week with more golden nuggets and top-notch coaching tips. You can reach him by going to VinneyChopra.com or texting the word syndication to 474747. Be sure to like, comment, and share to show everyone how Mr. Smiles has brought your apartment syndication business to the next level.